Good day everyone! I am Febigil Mendoza from BSN1 Orlando, and for today's session, I am going to dissect a pig's kidney. Without further ado, let's get started.
This is a pig's heart. The renal arteries carry a large volume of blood from the heart to the kidneys. Renal veins. Renal veins are blood vessels that carry blood from the kidney back to the heart. The renal cortex. The renal cortex is the solid-looking outermost part of the kidney. It contains many small arteries and veins that carry blood to and from approximately 1 million nephrons located in the cortex. The medulla is the region located inward from the cortex. It includes the cone-shaped renal pyramids. These are fibrous or striped triangular zones in the medulla that contains the collecting ducts, which collect urine from the kidney tubules of the nephrons in the cortex. Between the pyramids are the renal columns that contain middle-sized arteries and veins that carry blood between the nephrons in the cortex and the renal artery and vein. The hollow area in the center of the kidney is the renal pelvis, which should not be confused with the bone called the pelvis. The collecting ducts drain into the pelvis. From there, the urine passes out through the ureter to the urinary bladder. Unfiltered blood enters the kidney through the renal arteries and found in the hilum region. It branches off into the segmental arteries and it will get along the spaces between the renal pyramids known as the renal columns. Their blood vessels are known as the interlobal arteries, after which it will split off into the top or the base of the renal pyramids known as the arcuate arteries. Then, it will further branch into the renal cortex as the interlobal arteries. These blood vessels serve multiple nephrons where filtration of the blood occurs. Once the waste or filtered blood exceeds to the afferent arterioles and then diverges into the peritubular capillaries, which supply bloodstream proximal in the cell convoluted tubules, and into collecting duct and into the vasa recta, which supply blood to the lobe of Henle. It will converge again into the cortical radiate veins. Then, it will pass through the arcuate veins. At the base of the pyramids, these lead to the blood back to the renal columns and into the interlobal veins, which then go to the renal veins. In the hilum region, before sending the filtered blood to the inferior vena cava of the heart. First is the glomerular filtration, which happens in the renal cortex. The origin of the filtrate comes from the water and the smaller solutes first to the capillary walls of the blood vessels and the glomerular capsule first to the renal tubule. Second is the tubular reabsorption, which happens in the moment when the filtrate from the capsule enter the proximal convoluted tubule. This happen again in the renal cortex. Useful substances in the filtrate or transform in-out in the tubule, and then return to the bloodstream to the adjacent capillaries. And the last one is the tubular secretion. Hydrogen and potassium ions are further removed from peritubular blood and secreted by tubule cell in the filtrated. These secreted ions plus the filtrate form the urine. The urine then flows out to the nephron tubule into the collecting duct, passing through the renal pelvis into the ureter, and then it will gonna go down to the urinary bladder.